On this episode, we have an agronomic update on soybean gall midge and tar spot in corn. Dicamba complaints are on the rise once again. Come out to West Point at our headquarters next Wednesday, August 21st at 4 p.m. for the Grow Tour featuring Jake McVey and learn about our 2 new soybean systems. Stine corn has been the leader for short corn, which is a product of selecting hybrids for yield and standability, and now another company is starting to do the same thing. Stay tuned for the discussion.
Hi, this is Joe Mershman from Mershman Seeds. Welcome to Cup of Joe, episode number 3, season 2. Today we have Tommy, and we have a new person in here, Carly Wilkins and Ben. So we got a lot of things been going on this past week, so we're going to bring you up to date. I think we'll start with Ben. We always like to start with the agronomic stuff. That's always the fun stuff.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a continuation from last week. We caught a little bit of rain over the state. Things are looking good. Everybody that I've talked to makes it sound like Iowa is a little bit of a garden state, and especially if you've been traveling east to Indiana, Illinois, and Ohio. So we caught some rain over some areas, but Iowa State had an update on the spread of where they're finding gall midge. And gall midge is a insect that's red and small. They're finding it now in Dallas County.
In soybeans, right?
Soybeans, yep. Gall midge and soybeans. They were finding it on the Missouri River border between Iowa and Nebraska, and now they are seeing that it's moving east. They have confirmed cases in Dallas County, which is just west of Des Moines, which means that we need to be scouting fields. We need to be aware of this disease. The gall midge essentially does exactly what's in its name. It causes a gall. It'll bury itself into the side of a soybean plant, causing a gall on it, and it stops nutrient and water flow to go up through the bean.
So it's a disease, is that what it is?
It's an insect.
Insect, okay.
Yep. It'll bury itself into the side of the bean plant, causing a gall or like a cancer, like a tumor on the side of the plant, and then shutting down water and nutrient flow to the soybean plant.
It sounds like it does the same damage a deck T stem borer does, which is kind of found in the southern and Kansas and southern in Missouri and southern Illinois, which is kind of like the corn borer of insects for soybeans. So yeah, just what farmers need, another problem.
Yep, and I think Iowa State's still working on trying to figure out what the best treatment options for this is. It's kind of like one of those difficult deals, just like the Dex T stem borer, that the control timing is really hard because once it burrows
inside the plant,
there's no way of controlling
it.
The
damage is already done.
So that's a tough one. So
we're
that's
about ready for that BT soybean to come out. They have it in South
nice.
America, but
yeah. And actually MS Tech does have that gene and has been working with it, and right now there hadn't been a need for it in the Midwest. So who knows what we're going to come up with next.
Right. And we talked about tar spot 2 or 3 weeks ago. Tar spot's another disease. It's little black specks that eventually, when the fungus covers the leaf, it can look like tar it's super black and almost has that greasy appearance. They're finding it to move further south and west. They're finding it around Dubuque County and the county south of Dubuque County. I'm not real sure what the name of that one is. I have to go back and look it up. But basically, the diseases that they've been talking about the past 2 years, from introduction into the state to spreading, they're starting to get more serious. We're seeing incidences as they move further inland to our state, and we're just really having a tough time controlling.
So is it controllable with a fungicide?
They're still working on it.
So we got 2 major problems, one in soybeans and one in corn, that we better pay attention to because we could see some damage.
That is correct. A little bit of an update on the corn. We're seeing some of the early stuff start to go through dent locally here. The 108, 110 maturity day stuff starting to dent out. We're seeing some tip back on some of the earlier stuff, but for the most part, I think 180 to 200 bushel corn is still definitely an option as long as things keep tracking. So the late planted corn is going through pollination. It's probably not quite to blister yet, but we're getting close to that point. So.
Well, I did see the long-term forecast for fall from John Felt, and he's saying normal rainfall and slightly above average temperatures for September. So that should help finish out that late planted corn. So there's a little bit of optimism. At least they think it's going to be that way, and we need a good fall now to finish things up.
No, and I guess, yeah, you're absolutely correct. And one more thing is I have got a chance to walk through quite a few more soybean fields this year, or this past week, and man, it didn't look like we aborted many pods. So if we can keep these quarter-inch, half inches of rain, I mean, we got 3-pod clusters on almost every node. And man, for the heat that we had, I thought we were going to be aborting pods, and things look really, really nice. You can definitely tell the difference between the 3.3s, the 3.6s, and the 4.0s that are out there on what staging that they're at based on how far the pods come up. But we're tracking for, if we keep getting a little bit of rain here and there, we can definitely pull a decent soybean crop off this year.
Great. Tommy, what do you have today? I noticed you seemed to come in a little bit perturbed today when you came in.
No, I wanted to talk a little bit about Dicamba. I know we hammer that home quite a bit, but it's important to kind of know some of the details and the storyline of what's going on. This year seemed to be kind of steady as far as having the complaints very low. I know, for example, the state of Illinois on July 16th had only 11 complaints. As you've probably seen and gone out in the countryside, you're starting to see a lot more dicamba damage show up. So between Monday and Thursday of this week, that claim number went from 11 to 191 just in the state of Illinois. And I know our counterparts to the south have seen the same explosion in claims. It doesn't take long. I haven't seen much locally dicamba damage at all, especially with all the different varieties and traits that we're running.
We have some good applicators in this area that they're not spraying if they're surrounded by non-dicamba soybean.
I just wish that would kind of carry over to wherever else they're doing business or anybody else. I mean, it's kind of like Aaron Hager said at one of our meetings where applicators just didn't forget how to spray one day. This just hasn't come up to be an issue just right now, and the fact of there's off-target movement, there's tank contamination. It's not an AMS issue that we've seen. AMS will antagonize the dicamba, but it's not AMS and Liberty causing the issue that you've heard. It's an issue and it's not drought stress that's causing it either. It's the off-target movement from the volatility of the dicamba product.
Well, let's face it, the weather conditions during most of those applications of dicamba were the hottest of the summer for humidity and heat.
Absolutely, and with the late planted, like you said, timing is everything. And the thing that gets me the most frustrated is that, the neighbors. I understand you don't want to turn your neighbor, and I don't know what I would do in my situation, but we're not going to change anything. We're not going to make anything right if someone doesn't stick up for what they own, and if that's their property or their crop, their livelihood, it's never going to change.
Well, that's a good segue into why we brought Carly in today. Carly's our marketing lead, and one of the things that we try to do here at Mershman Seeds is to let people know about choices. And let's start just in general. What are we going to hear in the next few weeks from Mershman Seeds when it comes to letting farmers know about the better choices that they have with LibertyLink, GT27, and Enlist E3?
So one of the things that we do is in August is the grow tours with Jake McVey, and it's not necessarily a selling tactic. It's more of a just get people in.
It's fun.
Appreciation, get them talking, and it's more of an awareness type campaign because people love it when they buy from us, but sometimes they don't know about us to buy from us. So that's something that we want to do is just build awareness of the brand and what we have. And we have a lot of options. We have 2 new traits and genetics put together that provide less stress and more control. We just think it's better for the farmer.
And his neighbors.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know how many of the folks out there know about Jake McVey and the Grow Tour. The Grow Song was written by Jake McVey. He's a local artist that grew up here in southeast Iowa and moved to Nashville and basically sold everything he had, invested everything he had into being a country artist. And he tours the entire United States, many times 200 tours a year, so he's gone a lot. But we asked him to write a song about farmers, so he came up with this Grow Song, and you can get a free download on our website. And so what we did was, we started using it as a background in our commercials, and we said, well, heck, why don't we bring Jake out to some of the different dealers and just do a concert? And that's exactly what the Grow Tour is. It's just a concert. We want the wives, the kids, the dad to come, and many times we have a field day first, so where the dad can go out and look at or the mom can go out and look at the the products that we offer, and then we get together and we have free T-shirts, and we have a nice meal, and a concert that lasts about an hour and 15 minutes, and by gosh, you're home by 9 o'clock, you know. So it still works on a school night. So the next one coming up is when?
It's going to be here at West Point at the Mershman Seed headquarters, which is going to be really great, and we can have a plot day out at our plot and have a meal and bring people in. And it's mostly, it'll be Wednesday, August 21st. And it's mostly headed by the dealers and the dealerships that will host these events. So
What time's that start on the 21st, Carly?
4 o'clock.
4 o'clock.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Starts with the field day at just on the south edge of West Point, off of X23 is our show plot. There'll be a fairly quick walkthrough of the plot, and then we'll go over to building number 5, which is our main big huge warehouse, and it will be air conditioned because we are going to open up the cooler to let some cold air come in there, so it'll be very comfortable. Jake will be set up. We got a jumbotron replica, so it's just going to be a lot of fun.
Food's gonna be good too.
Really,
Yeah.
no commercial, just a nice evening out. I always tell the guys, I said, you know, here's a cheap date for you, you know, get a free food and entertainment, and mom will love it, and you know, and plus you meet your friends and neighbors and talk about some of these new things that are coming from Mershman Seeds. And we also have another one this Saturday. And
Yep.
Tommy, you can talk about that one.
Yep. Bill Brewers will have they're in Prohl, Iowa on August 24th. We have the same grow tour that Carly and Joe were talking about. Lots of exciting things to do there. I know Bill and Kathy and Steve Brewer, they bring in some, I think they had a mechanical bowl last year. They had a ice cream social. They had a nice little bar set up and delicious food. And Jake always does very well. I know Kathy loves listening to Jake. She could go to all the grow tours if she could. So it's always a good time. And I don't know as far as after that, there's kind of hit or miss in between the week, and we should post our schedule on that on the grow tours. So
Because we have about 2 grow tours per week until maybe the second week in September. We
Correct.
started the first week in August, I think,
Yep,
with the tour.
yep,
So
and we've had 6 so far, and so then and we're going to be in 4 states, including Indiana and Nebraska, besides Iowa, Illinois, and Missouri. And it's just a nice evening, and Jake does a great job. He wrote the song in a Motel 6 in West Des Moines, sent it to me with his iPhone, and I said, that'll work. And then we developed our marketing program around it, and you'll hear it on our radio ads and
commercials.
some of our TV commercials that we do, just talking about the better choices and how grow, you know, and how hard the farm family works, and what farmers do for this country, which is just tremendous. And so it's just the fun part of selling seed. And we got back about midnight last night after doing one at Worthington, Missouri.
That's correct.
And that was a nice event. And then we also did one this past week at Vandalia with TriStar Seeds. So that was a good event too. So we're looking forward to this coming week, and we'll let you know where some of these tours are. And at least go to our website and download the song, or give us a call and we'll send you a CD, the Grow song. It's free. But
Joe, talking about something new and exciting and innovating, I guess, what did our friends with Bayer think they came up with?
well, not everybody gets the St. Louis Dispatch newspaper, but our dealer Bill and new area sales manager Bill Brewer sent it to me and said, did you see this article? And I said, no, I had not seen this article. It was in the St. Louis Dispatch this past week, actually on August 9th, and it says, Bayer sees big future for short corn varieties. And I said, I totally agree. And what they're talking about is their breeding effort to develop short corn hybrids that you will plant at higher populations and have improved standability for higher yields. In other words, the only way we're going to get higher yields in corn is to condense that population and get more ears out there, keep it short. And believe it or not, Bayer is focusing very hard on that with their genetics, which would be the Bayer Monsanto genetics, which would be DeKalb's brands and all the other brands that they sell. But the reality of it is it's already been invented, and we're selling it right now, and it's called Stine corn. And so they're definitely following the leader in this technology, and it's where the future is, and that's what we're going to see in general in corn in general. It's going to start shortening up, and we're going to see possibly narrowing the rows down. to maximize the yield potential, because that's going to be the next quantum leap in corn yields, is this shorter corn, higher populations. And Ben's been out in a lot of this already. He's seen a lot of Stine corn, and when you we even got numbers on the measurements on the heights, and we talked about that a little bit last week, if you recall. So it's catching on. So if folks that think that Stine Seed Company is the Lone Ranger out there trying to promote something that's not going to work, well, one of the majors just jumped in to try to compete.
What's the date on that? By the time they were going to introduce it, wasn't it
2022, I think.
22, 23, yeah.
Gotcha.
And the silly thing about it, I think, is Harry Stine breeds corn for yield and standability, and short corn just kind of happened to show up as a generalization of what is yield and standability.
Yep.
And so for now, the Bayer comes out and says, well, short corn is the future. Well, it's just kind of what happens.
Yep. It's good to see that, and again, it kind of alerts and validates what we're doing right now, which, and I totally agree, they are on the right track. So, and that's where we're going. So, well, we got a lot of things going on. Oh, by the way, our pricing's out. If you guys, customers are interested in knowing what LibertyLink GT27s and Enlist E3 are going to cost you, opportunities exist right now, early cash discounts. We got terms through John Deere Finance to December 2020. If you already got a John Deere Finance program on, we can put next year's 2020 on with no issues, go right on to the next year. Saves you money, because time and money are interchangeable. The sooner you decide what you want for seed, the lower the cost of the seed is. So I always say there's only one reason why you don't order your seed early. That's because you want to pay more. And that's true in this industry. So as the Merschman dealers are out talking to you and the Merschman reps are out there, take a hard look, and we can definitely put together a package of better choices.
Absolutely.
Well, thanks for watching today, and as always, we appreciate your business. Look forward to talking to you, and see you next week.
They'll make it